Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a topic that many couples consider before tying the knot: prenuptial agreements. We'll explore the top 5 most frequently asked questions about prenuptial agreements in Singapore, and I'll provide clear answers to help you understand how these agreements work in the local context. Question number 1. What is a prenuptial agreement? A prenuptial agreement, also known as a prenup, is a contract between two individuals who plan to marry, outlining how their assets and liabilities will be divided in the event of a divorce or separation. It can also cover other issues such as wedding costs, household expenses, future maintenance in the event of divorce. It also contains certain covenants or undertakings. Question number 2. Are prenuptial agreements legal in Singapore? The answer is yes. Prenuptial agreements are legal in Singapore. However, the Singapore courts retain the discretion to decide whether the agreement is enforceable, particularly when it comes to the division of matrimonial assets and maintenance. The court will assess if the agreement is fair and whether both parties entered into it willingly, with full knowledge of its terms. Section 1112, subsection 2 of the Women's Charter explicitly states that when deciding on the division of matrimonial assets during a divorce, courts will consider all the circumstances of the case, including any agreement between the parties with respect to the ownership and division of the matrimonial assets made in contemplation of divorce. Question number 3. Can a prenuptial agreement include custody of children? Well, strictly speaking, no. A prenuptial agreement cannot dictate the custody, care, and control of children because the court will have regard to the best interests of the children under the Women's Charter. But some people want to include such provisions in their prenup anyway. The courts in Singapore will always decide matters relating to children based on their welfare and the best interests at the time of the divorce, regardless of what the prenuptial agreement states. So if such terms are not in the child's best interests, even though they are stated in the prenup, for example, if the mother is an abusive alcoholic or drug addict, then the court will likely not enforce such a clause. Question number 4. What are the key elements of a valid prenuptial agreement? For a prenup to be taken seriously by the courts in Singapore, certain conditions must be met. These include both parties must voluntarily enter into the agreement and know what they are signing. Number 2, both parties should seek independent legal advice. Number 3, the parties should not be aware of anything within their reasonable control which will or could have an adverse effect on their ability to enter into the prenuptial agreement. For example, if they are already married somewhere else in another country or they have a sexually transmitted disease. Number 4, the prenuptial agreement must be fair and not unconscionable. Last question, can a prenuptial agreement protect my business? The answer is yes. A prenuptial agreement can protect your business by specifying how it should be treated in the event of a divorce. For example, the agreement can state that the business will remain the sole property of one spouse, regardless of marital contributions made by the other spouse. The court will still review this provision to ensure it is fair, especially if the other spouse contributed significantly to the success of the business during the marriage. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.